This is the Mile High Magnum Dak Draper, and you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag Podcast.
This is the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, current, reigning, defending Impact World Champion, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
What's up, guys? I'm the Spotlight Logan Knight, and you are watching the brightest podcast in the world for professional wrestling, the I-70 Hot Tag.
Reach for it. Reach for it. Reach for it. I'm Matt Seidel. This is the I-70 Hot Tag.
This is Nixie XS, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
What's up, everybody? It is one half of the beautiful people and 7-time women's world champion Angelina Love. And aren't you lucky? You are watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
Hey, I'm Marcus Buff Bagwell, and you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag, baby. Check it out, and remember, no matter what, I'm buff, and I'm still the stuff. Ha 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 ha!
And now, CR Media presents the I-70 Hot Tag with your host, Chaos Chase, and the real Josh Elliott.
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Chase with my friend Josh Elliott. And oh, how long it's been. Josh?
Been a minute.
Absolutely, sir.
So much so that you didn't even introduce yourself as AKA CR Media.
Yeah. You know, it's been a while. It's been so long, I forgot how to do this. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
Yep. No, me neither. Me neither. We already got a couple people in the chat, though. Beckerman, appreciate you tuning in, sir. It has been far too long with no wrestling. I agree.
Absolutely. That's going to change tomorrow night, right?
It is. We've got some wrestling going on tomorrow.
I think that's why we were doing a show, right?
Yep. Gonna promote some Fountain City Pro. So
absolutely. You know, it was funny. They said, oh, those guys, all they're going to do is put over their own show. Well, yes and no. We're going to talk about other shows. because we've got some shows going on here in the area, right?
We do. We got a couple events going on this weekend, a couple coming up next weekend. So the Kansas City area, Wichita, Kansas City, North Missouri, it's going to be pretty busy in the next couple of weeks. So I believe, on top of Fountain City Pro, we'll kind of talk about it a little bit, but on top of FCP, we got KCXWs coming up at the Renaissance Festival. Tri-States is running an event this Saturday, I believe. HCW's running almost every other week, Wichita, and then a couple times in Leavenworth. So,
absolutely. And Fountain City Pro has another show next month.
Oh, they do.
Yep, October 18th. That's been on the, not like it's a surprise or anything. And then on October 19th, our friends over at Trailblazer for Monsters Brawl are going to be running a show. So
Monsters Brawl 2. Gotta get it right.
My bad. I knew they used the name prior, but I wasn't sure if it was 1, 2, 3. Their stuff is really, really hard to find. So.
It is, man. It's almost non-existent.
But we promote Kansas and Missouri independent wrestling. So
as always.
Absolutely.
As always, Red James in the house. Going to be there tomorrow night. Got to see him in action in some Guys Snacks Invitational. So, why did Josh blur his background? Because I'm not in my normal office. There's been a lot of things happening since the last time we went live. Kids happened, actually.
Correct.
Yeah. So, anyway, that area in that room is a little bit damaged at the moment. So, we'll get back in there the next time you see us, which may or may not be 4 months from now.
It may not be. It may be 2025 before you see another I-70 hot tag episode.
Hope not.
I hope not too, man. I'll be honest with you. I've really, really kind of been wrestling with myself about like getting it like, because I think in order for this, for us to be able to do it again, at least on a bi-weekly basis, I would have to contribute to the setup of this show. And for those that didn't know, I never contributed to the setup of this show before. So
you did.
Very rarely. So, so that's one of the things that I've thought about is, maybe I get busy on trying to help keep this thing going, and because it is awesome. We love doing it. Obviously we've had our like stints where not really feeling it, or hey, trying to run a wrestling promotion, hint, breaking the fourth wall here, guys. Kayfabe is dead. You guys all know, it is what it is, but I just love, especially when I travel to Wichita for HCW shows, I'm like, man, I'd love to like break out the gear and interview some of the guys and put it on. Well, I wouldn't put it on Fountain City. Like that's, although I don't think Billy would have an issue with that. I mean, we cross promote stuff all the time, but thought, man, to have a platform to put that stuff out there to get those guys, more exposure and stuff like that. Yeah. I miss it. And I have thought about doing it a lot lately. So, it was, although we are doing this on the Chiefs opener, still,
what's the score, by the way? Give us a score update.
10-7 Kansas City.
There you go.
10-7 Kansas City.
Mahomes
is getting acquainted with his two new weapons, Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Rashee's not really new, but you get what I'm saying. Look at that, man. Justin Bundy, man. I I haven't been on the old TikToker in a while. So Red James is already reporting our commenters. Jake, the original tribal chief, the final sole survivors of the CR Media Discord. There is nobody there but Jake, and I get notified every single day that Jake is still there. So I'm glad somebody's there
keeping it alive.
Because hey, you know what? If we start doing this again, maybe we'll start using that Discord again more often. You know, we'll see. Sunny Money says Mahomes and Rey Leon are the only men in all of my life to make me tingle like I do. That is true. Justin Bundy, who is up north of us, Iowa.
Yep, he's
right?
in Iowa. He goes to Rugged Pro a lot. Yeah,
huge Rugged Pro fan. Justin would be very familiar with Captain Midnight Guthrie and Jay Fowler, who are going to be co-main eventing with Camaro Jackson and Luke Langley tomorrow night. And we're going to get into that. Because here's how like I would like for the show format to go going forward. I would like, obviously, I don't want to break a show down like we used to. I think that's kind of like where we kind of got in trouble a little bit, you know, or where I got in trouble. Sorry. Because, you know, it is what it is. But so I think what we might do is we might just break the Fountain City Pro shows down because, you know, we won't hurt anybody's feelings doing that. And then we can just tell everybody where to find these other promotions, what dates they're running, stuff like that. And then also still be able to interview talent like Red James. And I thought I saw somebody else in the chat earlier, but you know, talent that comes through the Midwest. So
yep. There's still a lot of great, you know, we've had, this is episode 87. We've had like, I want to say over 80 wrestlers, you know, from the Midwest, a couple mainstream that we've interviewed, but there's a ton more that are still, you know, debuting in our area. They're still traveling around our area. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. Like there's a lot of talent out there that we still haven't talked to, we still haven't promoted. And yeah, if we ever get back to it, I'm excited to continue what we started a year and a half, 2.5 years ago. Sorry. God, it's been 2.5 years.
Has it been?
April of 2022.
Dean Houston says, what time is the first match tomorrow night? So bell time will be at 7:05, sir. There will be no pre-show matches on this card. And so let's, you know, I mean, we're here. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to break down Fountain City and then close out by announcing the future shows?
Yeah,
let's already did announce the future shows.
Yeah, well, I got the graphics up. We can do Fountain City first, and then we'll close out by doing the other shows. But I did want to say before we started, sorry, I'm trying to find the name here. We did run a promotion. Hyper Computer and Battle Games is one of Fountain City Pro's mainstay sponsors.
Yes,
they've
Brian.
been with us for 3 straight shows.
Yes,
and
Brian.
What?
Brian asked the question and I was answering it for him. He said, will he who shall not be named show up? Yes, he will
be in attendance.
He bought a front row ticket, my guy.
Front and center.
Front row.
So anyway, what I was saying was Hypercomputer wanted to run a promotion, much like Guy Snacks did, but they're going to give away 2 second row tickets. The tickets did get given away. We have messaged Joshua Thompson has won both tickets from Hypercomputer. They'll be sitting second row in the quote unquote sponsorship section. So congratulations to Josh. And we did not pick him because that's also my name. That was a random generator that we did before the show. But he'll be there and going to witness 2 semifinals matches. So what was that about Cirillas? We're going to get sponsored.
Sunny Money Mayo asked, are we looking to get sponsored by Cirillas? Sunny Money, in the words of my 12-year-old, game is game, bag is bag. It's 2024. Let's get this money. So it could be Cirillas. If they're writing checks, I'm cashing them, baby.
I don't hate it. Do not hate it. All right, let's get into this, guys. We are Red killing me. Let's start off with our first Fountain City Pro. Now, again, this is not in no particular order. We don't have the this is just going right down the order from announcements, or at least how I save them.
Damn, I was gonna spoil the match order for everybody.
If you want to do that, go ahead. They're listed right there. Show on the screen.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm not prepared. All right. I'll pull up one of Josh's handy dandy spreadsheets. So we're gonna start off the night for And Justice for All with a grudge match, so to speak, between Gary J and Anakin Murphy. We saw last event in May, Bombs Over Ball, how both gentlemen kind of blamed each other for losing that match to Fowler and the triple threat match that was a tournament match. And Anakin tried to shake Gary's hand after the match. Gary wasn't having it. They had some choice words for each other. I don't really call this the opening match. I would call this the opening fight, because that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a fight.
Yes, Hunter Dillon. Appreciate you tuning in, sir. Been a while. Yes, no, it is. It's definitely going to be a fight. If you guys have not seen the promos that these two have released for this match, they're very passionate, and anytime you can get both these guys in the ring, whether or not they're on a team or against each other, they're going to put out 150, 200% effort to make sure they come out on top. And this is going to be like every bit of what you said, a fight. So be prepared, because they are looking to rip each other's heads off.
Tony Lee Mashburn says these dudes are kayfabing us. Tony, I'm always kayfabing, brother. Always.
The kayfabe's dead, I thought you said.
Depends on who you ask. You're right, I did say that, but I guess it depends on what night you ask me.
Well, it'll be it's 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, Red James, so it's a little early to start.
Man of the hour, Herb Simmons
in the house.
Just talking about Herb Simmons last night on Wrestling Spotlight with our friend Gerald Bentley.
Yeah.
Wrestling with Sales, Wrestling Spotlight, one of our sponsors for And Justice for All. We were talking about, the strong wrestling scene in St. Louis, and we brought up Herb Simmons and how long Herb Simmons has been doing it and consistently. So always a pleasure to have Herb Simmons around.
Yes, agreed. You got to be doing something right if you're going for 50 plus years, and that's SICW for you. So
my ears were ringing last night. There you go. For people just joining us, I've noticed the numbers climb up a little bit. We appreciate you hanging out with us. I-70 Hot Tag. We don't do this a whole lot. We don't do it very often. We have an event tomorrow, so we're promoting that and also talking about other events in the Kansas and Missouri area that you can find. The second match from our big sponsor, Guys Potato Chips, Guys Snacks. This is the Guys Snacks Invitational. And we've got 5 individuals for this match. The Foreman, Red James, who's in the chat. T2G, Tommy Too Good. The Luminary, Marco Hendricks, and Mighty Micah. Our inaugural Guys Snacks Invitational winner, Shaza McKenzie, won at Bombs Over Ball. And now these 5 individuals are going to fight for that. The Guys Snacks Invitational, guys, it is to highlight a partnership with a prominent Kansas City brand, as Fountain City Pro tries to make their name a part of Kansas City, and our brand a part of Kansas City. So we appreciate their support. We appreciate, they're willing to stand behind professional wrestling. This will be the Guys Snacks Invitational is something that will happen every single event. And this is just Fountain City Pro's opportunity to take talent who Kansas City doesn't see very often and highlight them as a way to introduce them to Kansas City almost. So.
Yep. And this is for those of you who have not attended a show, this is an elimination match, battle royal style. And like Chase said, it's going to be at every show, highlighting Guys Snacks. And some of the participants, Red James is in the chat. You can see the picture there. Not to steal a line from Rey Leon, doesn't have quite the illustrious beard anymore. It's a little bit much like my hair. He said in the chat earlier, it's a little bit thinner than it is in that photo. But he will be there from Oklahoma. He's a fantastic wrestler. If you've not seen him, T2G Tommy Too Good was at our first show back in March. He was in that 3-way tag team match. The Luminary, they were in the pre-show match at last event in May. Mighty Micah, we saw pretty much take out the O'Neal brothers by himself, after his tag team partner left. And then Marco Hendricks, a very promising young wrestler, primarily coming up through the XWC, KCXW, going to make his debut here in Fountain City Pro. So I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a fun one to watch.
Absolutely. The third match, this match will go back to March, our first event in the Fountain City Pro Invitational. It was before names were signed on the dotted line. So, but yes, it was an invitational match. I do want to highlight something and kind of pull that curtain back as you will. The invitational. Now, you said it's elimination style. Now, what people don't understand is that it's not over the top rope elimination style. It's pin or submission elimination style. That was not my original idea. The original idea was for it to be battle royal style over the top rope, like all scrambles are. Your typical battle royal / scramble in an indie promotion. But it was Anakin Murphy who was like, hey, because he was in the Fountain City Pro Invitational. He was like, hey, why don't we make this pin or submission so we can do cool stuff outside the ring? I was like, okay, let's do that. So shout out to Anakin Murphy for getting that pushed through. So Red James says it's a no DQ match. That is correct. Pin or submission, elimination style. So, but going back to that first one, we had Rex Amadeus and handsome Scott Hansen in that match. Both standouts in that match did very, very well. But Rex Amadeus was the reason for Scott Hansen getting eliminated. And Scott Hansen didn't pull no punches when he watched Rex Amadeus get eliminated right after him. So these two kind of, talked a little smack to each other in the post-show interviews. And so now we're going to run this back and and handsome Scott Hansen, who's a phenomenal young talent here in Missouri, out of St. Joe, is going to go up against Rex Amadeus, who's Rex is definitely not a pushover himself. Rex is what I would call consistent. There are a handful of guys the past 6-7 years in independent professional wrestling who are consistent, and Rex Amadeus is on that list. Not real high up there because obviously there's guys that have been doing it longer than that, but Rex Amadeus is there. Wherever there's a wrestling event around here in the Midwest, you will more than likely find the master of the mustache, Rex Amadeus, on the card.
Yep. And that pays off because, he is the current Tri-States Tag Team Champion with the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt. He's carrying around gold. He's also, and we don't keep up as much as we used to. I am almost positive that he's also carrying the Kansas Championship from Mid-States Wrestling, down Jason Jones' promotion. I could be wrong with that. At one point I believe he held a title down there in Mid-States. So yeah, Rex is making waves, as is Scott. Scott wrestles St. Joe. He wrestles in Mid-States as well. So I'm excited for them to finally get in the ring and showcase what they can do in Kansas City.
Absolutely. The first semifinals match, the co-main event, you'll see all steel Jay Fowler with Captain Midnight Guthrie taking on Rey Leon with Dick Richards.
Triple dicks.
Yep. Obviously, the situation earlier this year with having to postpone this event.
Am I frozen or is Chase frozen?
Did Chase just die?
No, you're back.
Wow. I saw you like shimmy across the screen and then my internet just went poop. So anyways, I was stating, obviously with the changes in the card, there was some things that we had to do. Trying to think of exactly how to word this. You've got two guys. Typically you don't see two bad guys go against each other, right? This is one of those situations where you got two very bad dudes going against each other. But the other side of that, these two guys are not only two bad dudes, attitude, taste, style. These are two bad dudes inside the ring. Rey Leon is one of the most gifted secrets in the Midwest. Jay Fowler it's not a secret. Everybody, if you don't know, everybody knows Jay Fowler is a goddamn machine. I didn't want to. That's gimmick infringement, right? Because we're going to talk about Luke Langley.
Luke Langley's going to come for us now.
Yeah, but I can't say enough, and I can't emphasize enough on how just amazing Jay Fowler is, just as a whole. And then you've got two very entertaining aspects to this match. While you're going to be focused on what's going inside the squared circle, you're also going to have to worry about the entertainment, the pure entertainment and fuckery, if you will, that is going to ensue from Dick Richards and Captain Midnight Guthrie.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Also, just so everybody is aware, referee Nick Chin will not be officiating this match.
It's probably a good idea.
Yep.
Probably a good idea.
With what we've seen, probably for the best. Then we're gonna go to intermission after this match, and then immediately when we come back, you're gonna see in one-on-one action the Spotlight Logan Knight versus Maggie Lee. What are you shaking your head at?
Nothing.
Oh,
You just moved on awfully quick.
my bad.
You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Did you want to add to that match?
Honestly, you said pretty much everything. I mean, it's a main event caliber match on any card you put out there in the entire country. So that's pretty much all I was going to add. But yes, let's continue. Logan Knight, Maggie Lee. Go ahead.
So Logan Knight getting an opportunity at singles action here. Want to give a huge shout out to his sponsor, Action Mobile Wash. And he's going to be without his only friend, Stormy Renee. And then he'll be going one-on-one with Maggie Lee, who we've seen in Kansas City once, Central States Wrestling.
Yep.
And I think people will be excited to see her again. This time, going up against Logan Knight.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of similarities as far as on the Maggie Lee front as I did when we first started learning about Rey Leon, and she's only been doing this for less than 2 years, and she is all over the Iowa, Nebraska, St. Louis, Illinois. I'm pretty sure she's and I'm going to blank on the name of the promotion, but it's a fairly well-known promotion in the Chicago area. She is the women's champion
CSW.
There. It's not CSW. But it's not. But anyway, she's the women's champion there. She's women's champion in either Rugged Pro or somewhere in the Iowa area, making a lot of waves. Very impressive. And for her to come here, not to make her Kansas City debut, but make her Fountain City Pro debut, and also making his singles debut is Logan Knight. So we'll see how well he can hold his own without Stormy there. So, who is coming off an impressive victory at the March or the May show. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. Speaking of the May show and the impressive victory, their opponents from May, Tobias Storm and Calvin Aldridge, the main attraction, or team double stuff, depending on who you ask, they will be going up against the Premier. So as everybody remembers, in May, the Premier showed up uninvited, attacked Calvin Aldridge and Tobias Storm after their loss to Only Friends, and were exited from the building. Campbell Myers and SK Bishop both had very lovely things to say about Fountain City and about me and us. So we were gonna move on from it. We were gonna tell Ball Event Center to tighten up security and do goons, but
speaking of which, did they ever refund or get us a new computer monitor? Because
I think we'll probably talk about that on Friday. Because as what happened was Tobias and Calvin Aldridge messaged me nonstop demanding this match, regardless of if Campbell and SK Bishop were associated with Fountain City Pro. So we granted it, and Friday night the Premier is going to make their debut in Fountain City, and they're going to go against a hot and up and coming tag team, and we're going to make them put their money where their mouth is. So
I want to highlight this. These are two obviously phenomenal tag teams. But this will be and is the only match that is an absolute Kansas City showcase on the card. So this is going to showcase what Kansas City is all about. Two teams can't wait to see what these two can do in the ring together. So I don't believe, I don't believe they've I don't think they've gone against each other before. I know we've seen the premiere in the same promotions as both of these guys before, but never in the same ring. So,
yep. No, I'm pretty sure it's a first. There was a lot of firsts on this card. Maggie Lee, Logan Knight's a first. Fowler versus Rey Leon is a first. Premiere versus Main Attraction, and as it was brought to our attention, this main event is a first, which is awesome, man. You know, when you look at it, you think, okay, Camaro and Fowler had their first match together at Light It Up. Camaro and Heidi got to have their first match together at Bombs Over Ball. Now Camaro and Langley are going to have their first match together. And this is the other semifinal match to determine who goes on to face for the right to be the first ever Fountain City Pro champion. The goddamn killing machine, who will be without his manager, Greg Jovi, this event. Mm-hmm. Luke Langley will take on the Grand Regent, Camaro Jackson. So,
whew. Man, what a way to close out the show. The winner of this match, as we said, will take on either Rey Leon or Jay Fowler in October. So, and this is going to be a straight up, very different than what the other semifinals match was. We talked about how there's going to be could potentially be a lot of outside, entertainment going on with the managers. This is a straight up, no managers. Greg Jovi will not be there. Just in-ring slugfest. And this is going to be a great way to close the show. So there you have it.
Absolutely.
And Justice for All, Fountain City Pro, tomorrow night. Doors will open at 6 p.m. You good?
Yeah. No,
Doors will open at 6 p.m. Bell time's at 7:05 on the dot. We will have Pop's Sweet Shop there again, like they were last event. They'll be set up at 5, so you can get there and get some ice cream before the doors open, and all the way up until about 7 or so, and then they'll come in and watch the show. So get your ice cream before the show starts. And yeah, man, it's gonna be fun time.
It always is. It always is. If you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure you go get them. And what you can expect tomorrow night is a fun event. No matter if you're coming to hang out with the kids, you're coming to hang out with the boys or the girls, or or it's a date night. Fountain City Pro's going to put on a show for you, and we're gonna have fun doing it. So,
yep, absolutely. So before we close out, as we always do, I like to roll through some of the upcoming events. We good? Coming up, let me see. I'm going to try to do this in chronological order. This is happening the next day. Tri-States Wrestling, as we talked about. Rex Amadeus and Jeremy Wyatt are the current TSW Tag Team Champions, going against a familiar team in the main attraction, Calvin Aldridge and Tobias Storm. You're going to see Dr. Ison in action, Warren Adams, Burt Candy, and let me get this straight. We have to have a little bit of conversation about this. Are we going to see a return to the ring of Michael Strider?
Former guest of the I-70 Hot Tag, Michael Strider.
He has been promoted for this a few times. So
I was going to say the Backlash and Sid Fury. Sid Fury is a name I haven't heard in a long time. Yeah. The Regulators, haven't heard that name in a long time. So our friends over at Tri-States are pulling all the stops, baby. Because we have seen somebody marketed for this event, Michael Strider. And there's a question mark right there next to Backlash and Sid Fury. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Gonna be interesting.
Yep.
Gonna be interesting.
For guys like Beckerman and Circumstances and Brian J. Baby, that last match with the Warden as a special guest referee are gonna tug on some memories. So guys who have been around for a while, Dean Houston, those, like I said, those names are that's super cool that Tri-States is doing that. So
Yep. So that's happening up in St. Joe. And then also this weekend, KCXW is going to run their annual Renaissance Festival event. You're most likely going to see Calvin Aldridge, Tobias Storm, and all the regulars out there at KCXW and the XWC. Again, they run a school out there just like the Kansas City Wrestling Academy. They've got a school as well for a lot of young talent in Kansas City. So if you're heading to the Renaissance Festival, go make sure you go get some tickets and check out some pro wrestling. If Dean's still in the chat, he'll probably be able to tell you a little bit about what's going on with that show. I know, if I'm not mistaken, Shylin is no longer, because of her injury, she's no longer the women's champion there. She had to relinquish the title at the last show, or it may not have been the last show, whatever, a few months ago. So
I don't know if she relinquished it, if Lady Pride came and took it. I just remember Lady Pride walking out with it. Okay. So I don't know if I don't know how that all went, but regardless.
Yes, El Diablo, Brian, Hard Luck Hal, Burt Candy, they're all most likely going to be there, so go check them out. Renaissance Festival, September 8th or 7th and 8th. I'm not sure if they're going to run both days, but look them up. And last but not least, our friends over at Heartland Championship Wrestling. If I can get this graphic to show up. There it is. Saturday Night Devastation, Air Capital Brawl 2. They're going to be out in Wichita, Kansas, which is primarily where they run. You're gonna see Aaron Helms. You're going to see a lot of great action out there. Valencia Paz is going to be there, or Team Chancla Violence, as they call themselves now. So go check them out if you guys haven't got tickets and you're in the Wichita area. This is September 21st. They run usually an hour earlier than I guess most of the independent companies that we go to. Usually it starts at 7. They run at 6, get you out a little bit earlier than normal. So go check them out. They run fantastic events, and you are very familiar with HCW and what's going on there, as we can hear your voice on all of their events now.
Yes, absolutely. Heartland Championship Wrestling has a Patreon, guys. It's $5 a month. They post their full events on there. And yes, you'll get special bonus matches. You'll get to hear commentary. I am one of the commentators, me alongside our friend Jeff Mitchell. And then there was one event I did in Leavenworth with a kid named Skylar. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, guys, definitely check those out, because I mean you'll see a lot of familiar faces in Heartland Championship Wrestling that you do in Fountain City. Rey Leon, Dickie Richards,
Stormy Renee, Heidi Howitzer. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. Yep. And not to leave her off, Lilith Grimm is going to make her HCW debut. If you're a fan of Colorado Rocky Mountain Pro wrestling, she frequents over there. And yes, we know the October 29th show, Journey Pro, is coming back. We haven't really talked about that, but they will be running at Guitars and Cadillacs in October. We were just kind of covering September. But if we run a show again in October, that'll be heavily promoted, just like HCW. So
Yeah, which is going to be awesome, man. Journey Pro homecoming. They're going home. Guitars and Cadillacs used to be Kansas Hall. There's no more booths. They got the booths out. So it's going to be a trip down memory lane. Josh and I never attended a Kansas Hall event together, but I think both of us. I know I went to 2. Did you go to 2 or 3?
I went to 1, 2. I went to 3, and it was toward the end there. I went to the Christmas one where I first saw Jay. It was the Buns of Steel, Jay Fowler, and that was Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That was in December of 2021, I believe. Oh no, it was just before COVID. Sorry, it was 2019, and then they did a joint show with another company in Chicago, and then I did one right after that, and then COVID shut down everything. So, but yes, it's they're coming back, so it's going to be a fun show. You and I will both be there. We'll be in attendance. So,
yes,
and
yes,
Beckerman's waiting to see about the October 18th show. You will find out much more tomorrow. Once we get all the details ironed out. So, keep your eyes peeled.
What you will know is that at on the October 18th show, the winners of the semifinals are going to go 1-on-1 to crown the Fountain City Pro Champion. And shame on me, brother. I'm not even marking out for my own promotion, bro. I can't even represent my own company, man. Like. Oh, well.
Yeah, our question of when we gave away the tickets at the top of the show, who you think is going to be the first Fountain City Pro champion? We've got Rey Leon, we've got Jay Fowler, we've got Luke Langley, and Camaro Jackson. Any one of those 4 could be walking into October and walking out of October 18th as the first ever Fountain City Pro champion. So,
yep.
All
right, sir.
RMP represent. All right, yep, that's all I got. Chase,
that's all I got, man. I'm gonna get out of here.
Before we go, what's the current score of the Chiefs game?
13-10.
13-10. KC. All right. Yep. Let's go finish watching this game.
Yes, absolutely. Just in time for halftime to end. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, that's all I got, man.
We'll see you tomorrow night at the Ball Event Center.